Mega Greninja is a brand new Mega Evolution in Pokemon Champions, and it is a really weird one in doubles. So it doesn't have the best special attack stat, however, it has a fantastic speed stat of base 142, which is able to outspeed most of the Mega Evolutions in the entire game. But the problem is it does have a weak hit, and then Protean as an ability is a very odd choice for Greninja, which it gets Protean in its base form, and Protean nerf between Gen 8 and Gen 9 hasn't been the kindest in doubles at least. So we're going to be trying out Mega Greninja because it's a Mega Evolution that we don't really see too much. We're going to be trying out a team that has some crazy tricks and see how well it can perform. This is my Mega Greninja team. Let's break it down. So first Pokemon up is going to be the Mega Greninja, and Mega Greninja does get access to Protean as its ability. The same ability it does have access to prior to Mega Evolution as well, which is an ability which transforms the user into the type of the first move that it uses. So in this case, we actually don't want to transform our typings because in some cases, we want to keep the water and the dark typing because we want to have the same type of attack bonus for the other move. It could be used defensively as well for the Protean, but sometimes it can be a double-edged sword where you're able to get rid of a typing. Maybe it's a super effective typing, like if you go for a water type move, you get rid of your dark typing, you survive a fighting move like a close combat. But in some cases where you might want to retain that typing, for instance, a Sucker Punch from King Gambit, and you're pure water type, and now you go down to the Sucker Punch where you would have resisted and survived earlier, yeah, it's a double-edged sword. So in this case, we're going to be running Torrent on the Greninja as base form because sometimes I think having the ability to have that dual type is pretty important, and especially if you want to go for Protect, you don't want to remain a normal type, I think, in a lot of cases, because then you lose both of your same type attack bonuses, which I think is pretty detrimental. This Greninja we're going to be running is Hydro Pump, which is able to hit pretty hard, especially with the Rain Boost, even though it does have the best special attack stat. We have Dark Pulse, which is going to be great dark coverage. Water Shuriken, a multi-hit special water type move, which can be useful in some cases, especially for the Archaudon, which we'll see later, and a few other techs. And Protect to keep itself around. The EV spread on this Greninja is max special attack because this Greninja does not have the best special attack stat in the world for a Mega Evolution. 133 isn't the highest, so we need as much as we can. We're going to be running enough speed to be able to outspeed the base 135s. Think of Delphox, which I think is pretty big, because if you go max speed Greninja, you speed type with Scarf Basket Legion, so not really much of a point, I think, to go any more investment than just able to outspeed the base 135s, and then the rest is going to go into HP, which is actually significant because it allows Greninja to be able to survive some attacks that isn't able to initially. So this is going to be the idea of the Greninja, and it's going to be a support Pokemon while also being able to dish out some pretty good damage. Next Pokemon we have is going to be the Leftovers Archaudon. Pretty standard Archaudon with the stamina boost, increases defense every time the Archaudon gets hit by an attack, and that includes every hit of a multi-move, which is important because we have the Water Shuriken on the Greninja. Pretty classic moveset, Dragon Pulse, Flash Cannon, same type of attack bonuses, which are pretty consistent. Electro Shot, which is able to power up the special attack of the Archaudon and fire off a really strong hit in the rain, and then Protect to keep itself around. The EV spread pretty much gives the maximum amount of leftovers recovery the Archaudon can get access to. Pretty much max special defense because you want to be able to take as many attacks on the special side since you're not being able to boost that part, especially against like Charizard fire type attacks in Sun, or the Floette fairy type moves are pretty scary, so you want to be able to take those attacks as much as possible. And then the rest, a bit of speed to be able to outspeed the Scarf Basket Legions under Tailwind, and then the rest is just going into defense and special attack with the Modest Nature, which is able to help out the Archaudon stats because you still want to be able to do some pretty good initial damage for the first Electro Shot or after 1 or 2 boosts. Next Pokemon we have is going to be the Citrus Berry Pelipper, a pretty classic Pelipper with the Drizzle ability, which is able to summon the Rain, Hurricane, Weather Ball, which are going to be your same type attack bonuses. Weather Ball being a water type move that is powered up in the rain, and then Tailwind and Wide Guard going to be the support here. So we have this Pelipper, which is just able to set up the rain, increase the power of the Greninja's water type moves, as well as support the Archaudon, allow it to get the electro shots and fire them off without having to take the charge turn. EV spread wise, it is going to be a pretty bulky Pelipper. It has an even HP stat, so you are able to eat the Citrus Berry after Super Fang. You have a good amount of special attack with the Modest Nature, so you're still able to do some damage and enough to get the extra stat point boost, and then a lot of special defense to be able to take on, again, hits like the Charizard attacks here, switching to Heat Waves pretty consistently, sometimes a Flood option, sometimes like Sylveon, a bunch of ways you just want to be able to increase the special defense of Pelipper, have it be able to survive a few hits, and then a little bit of speed to be able to outspeed the base 110s under Tailwind. Next Pokemon up is going to be the Life Orb Scizor. Technician is able to boost the Scizor's attack power of any of its weak moves by 50%, which means Bug Bite and Bullet Punch in this case are going to be weak attacks normally, but they are 50% boosted by Technician, allowing them to actually do pretty strong damage. Bug Bite, of course, just strong attack to be able to dish out a good amount of damage, especially into Farigiraf, which is able to one-shot thanks to that Life Orb, which is pretty impressive. The Bullet Punch, which is able to help out against the Fairy types. Close Combat to be able to help out against Incineroar and Kingambit. Protect to keep itself around. The EV spread on the Scizor is max attack to dish out as much damage as possible, especially very important for the Bullet Punch and the Close Combat calcs, and the Bug Bite knockout on Farigiraf. The HP investment does allow the Scizor not to take 17 HP recoil from Life Orb since it is 10%, so it is a number that is -1 of a number divisible by 10. So instead of 17 HP, if I had like any more HP investment, I'd be taking 17 HP recoil. We are only taking 16 in that case. The rest is just going to go into speed because you're able to speed creep some of the, like the Sylveons, some of the Kingambits that are not like max, for instance, or max speed. And then of course, like there's some Incineroars and Sinistras out there that I am just able to outspeed with the Scizor because of the speed investment. Next Pokemon we have is going to be the Speed Boost of Spafra, which is going to have the Focus Sash, which is able to live any one strong attack. And then at the end of each turn, we'll be able to get +1 to its speed, making it a very strong and scary mon if it goes out of control. With Lumina Crash, Skill Swap, Rain Dance, and Protect. So we have Lumina Crash, which is able to be a strong Psychic type attack, but also lower the special defense of the target by 2 stages, which is really nice for follow-ups, especially from a fast Spafra with Greninja, can be very powerful. Rain Dance, which is going to be great for the Weather War because it doesn't mean I have to switch in against Pelipper, because when you are playing the Weather War against Charizard, the Mega Evolution does make it a bit strange in order to win the Weather War because you switch into Pelipper, then it Mega Evolves, and then the sun is up. So Rain Dance is a way to play around the Mega Evolution and get the weather control. Skill Swap, which is an idea I initially had for Greninja, mainly because I want to keep both typings on Greninja because of the Protean sometimes being a backfire. But I think it's still a pretty cool tech because getting that speed boost potentially onto the Archalon, for instance, can be really neat. And there are other applications that you can go for with Skill Swap that I think are cool. For instance, into Staraptor, getting rid of their Contrary, which can be useful, as well as like getting rid of Pixelate from like any of the Sylveons or the Mega Gardevoirs, which can be very helpful for Archalon. So this is going to be the set, simply just max special attack, max speed with a modest nature, because those Lumina Crashes, I want them to hit as hard as possible. And there's not really much of a difference, I think, with Timid and Modest specifically, other than maybe against some of the slow Venusaurs, but I want the Lumina Crash to do as much damage as possible. So final Pokemon on this team is going to be the Choice Scarf Annihilate with the Defiant, which is able to give a +2 attack raise to the Annihilate anytime its stat is lowered by the opposing side, with Close Combat, Rage Fist, U-Turn, and Gunk Shot. I originally was testing quite a few different slots for the Annihilate as the final slot. I had like a Gourgeist I was trying out. It didn't exactly work out, but we are going to be using Annihilate because I felt like there were a few things that could patch. Archalon was a bit annoying. Kingambit could be a bit tough, and some of the ghost types are still a little bit scary, and I would like having a ghost type for being able to switch into fighting type attacks, which I think is neat. And then it can still take advantage of the Greninja's Water Shuriken, which of course, multi-hit move, you can go for Water Shuriken into the Annihilate, and then Rage Fist, a weak ghost type move, which is base power 50 start off, but every time Annihilate gets hit by an attack, 50 more base power gets increased by. So going to be very nice with the Water Shuriken pair with the Greninja. So we have Close Combat, Rage Fist, U-Turn, and Gunk Shot. Of course, Close Combat for the strong fighting damage. U-Turn, which is able to go for like a U-Turn with your Annihilate and try to win the Weather War by going to Pelipper. You can do this with the stamina boost on the Archalon, and then Gunk Shot, which is pretty nice just for a surprise option into the fairies if they do not expect it. So EV spread wise, just max attack, max speed. This doesn't outspeed the Aerodactyl because it's the Adamant nature instead of the Jolly, which you need to outspeed Mega Aerodactyl and any of the base 150s. But I think the extra damage with Close Combat is very much appreciated with Adamant nature, and I don't think Aerodactyl is too much of a problem with this team. So how to use the team? Well, when I was building this team, the idea was behind Greninja and Spafra as a duo, because I felt like this duo could put in a lot of work, because I felt that with Spafra, the Lumina Crash can really help out the Greninja, allow it to get knockouts with a double up, which can be really cool. And then there were other things that I was thinking of, like Skill Swap initially was to help out with the Greninja and get rid of that Protean, and I could give Greninja Speed Boost, which could be very helpful. But also just the fact that being able to keep the dual typing on Greninja could be neat. But I did think that Rain Dance was also another awesome factor that Espafra had access to, because you do have Rain Dance, which is important against your Charizard because it is very important for being able to play around the sun. So Greninja can actually threaten the knockout into Charizard. So Espafra Greninja is a pretty good lead. It's really offensive. Usually you want to double protect and you want to protect in your regular form so you don't utilize Protean. Then you could go for Lumina Crash plus double up KOs. And then you also have like other game plans that you can go for. For instance, our Chowdown was added next because the Water Shuriken is something that I decided to keep because I felt like, okay, there's some utility I could go with this synergy, having Rain Dance on the Espafra being a rain team in general. Our Chowdown Electric Shot does make a ton of sense, and you could go for Self Water Shuriken, give the defense boost with the stamina with our Chowdown, and then it's really hard for them to knock out our Chowdown if you are able to get rid of the special attackers. So for instance, you could bait attacks with Espafra. If they want to double up the Espafra, you can then switch in Archaladon, go for the Water Shuriken into your own Archaladon, and be able to get those defense boosts, which can be very, very nice and allow Archaladon to just be a monster on the field that is hard to stop. So that's kind of the idea. You could also just lead straight up Greninja plus Archaladon as well, and you can go for the Water Shuriken plus an attack as well. You could go for the rain mode immediately with Pelipper plus Archaladon and get that rain set up, fire off electric shots, and then bring in Greninja in the back and start Water Shuriken. You also have other offensive leads as well. Annihilate is a pretty good one. You could lead Annihilate, for instance, with the Greninja, go for Self Water Shuriken, then go for Rage Fist with the Annihilate because Water Shuriken is priority. So you can go for Water Shuriken, get the Rage Fist boost with Annihilate, and then get a really strong knockout. You can also lead like Annihilate plus like Archaladon, go for U-turn into the Archaladon, get the stamina boost, bring in Pelipper, get the rain up, set up Electric Shot for the same turn KO, which is really solid. And then, of course, like the Scizor is a pretty good one with Greninja because Scizor plus Greninja, the double priority of Water Shuriken plus the Bullet Punch can get some surprise knockouts. So a lot of cool techs that you can do with this team. If you'd like to try out the team, the rent code is on your screen and you can check out the details of the team down in the description. But let us try out Mega Greninja and see how well it performs. All right, we have Staraptor, Garchomp, Kingambit, Basculegion, Whimsicott, and Charizard. Oh, no Eternal Flood. It's just a Staraptor version of this kind of Tailwind offense team. Which it's okay. Like, this matchup's not amazing, but it's like fine, I suppose. I do want to bring a Espafra for sure. Espafra definitely wants to be brought against this team with access to Rain Dance. Am I going with Greninja? I could go with Greninja. I could also lead Arch. I don't think Arch is a terrible lead. I'm going to lead Arch. Because if I lead Greninja, it's not the greatest, I think. So I think I'd rather just lead Arch. If they lead Charizard, it's a bit scary, but I think it's okay. If they lead Staraptor, I do have something in mind to help against the Staraptor, but we'll see if it works. I do want to bring Greninja as well. Pretty sure. Then last Pokemon, this is where it gets tough because I don't know if it's Pelipper, so I have a backup for Zard, or do I just bring one of Annihilate or Scizor? I feel like Pelipper is probably okay because it's also a close combat switch for the Staraptor. I'm just curious of whether it's going to be like Whimsicott Staraptor or Whimsicott Charizard as the lead because I think both are actually pretty good into my team, but I'm not 100% sure which one. I think they might lean towards the Staraptor a bit more, but we'll see. Okay, they let Whimsicott Charizard, so this is actually, I mean, this is better for me. I prefer playing against a Charizard here. As long as it's not Timid Max Charizard, I think it's okay to go for as Rain Dance plus Electric Shot. Even if I take a lot of damage with Arch, it's probably pretty acceptable here if I get rid of the Charizard immediately. Yeah, so I'm going to go for Electric Shot into the Charizard and Rain Dance turn 1. If they protect, this is okay too. I don't mind if they protect. Like, what does Whimsicott do? Does it Moonblast? No, just Tailwinds, which is okay. I don't mind because I just get a free boost here. I guess this technically does matter because now they have access to guaranteed outspeeding my Espafra and can go for like Moonblast plus Heat Wave, Mega Evolve. Maybe this isn't as easy as I was hoping for. Yeah, this is not as easy as I was hoping for. Maybe I should have gotten a double up into Whims, but now it's kind of a weird spot. They're probably going to Mega Evolve. I guess I have to call a slot the next turn. I think my best play is just to simply double protect. You might be thinking, oh, double protect, but they're probably attacking Wizard. Unless they want to go Garchomp and Encore Lock me, which I think would be pretty reasonable. But they are going to switch to go for the Mega Wizard, which is fine because I can always go Pelipper for one of the slots the following turn. So I think that's pretty okay for me. Alright, so we're going to protect our Spafra and our Chaudon. Make sure we don't take any damage. And then it's just a battle of the Weather Wars. They go for Moonblast, Heat Wave into a Spafra. That makes sense because that would KO the Spafra before I could Rain Dance. So that's why I went for this. I could have went for a Flash Cannon, but I think this is still pretty reasonable here because now I have two mind games that I'm playing with my opponent. One is I can go out into Pelipper and click Electroshot. So they probably want to Encore my Archaludon. I think my best play is just to Lumina Crash the Whimsicott and go into Pelipper for this slot. Okay, they stayed in with Charizard, which is not what I expected. But they probably Encored me into Protect if they're going for that. Maybe it's Weather Ball of Spafra plus Encore. Yeah, they Encored my Archaludon. That makes sense. And I do get Lumina Crash off into Whimsicott, which is huge. So Whimsicott, Sash is broken, is pretty nice. Weather Control is in my favor right now. They go for Weather Ball. They do target Spafra. That makes a ton of sense here. Spafra is able to hang on pretty comfortably. And now I'm actually in a pretty commanding position because now I can threaten like a bunch of different plays, whether it's Lumina Crash outspeed the Whimsicott. I could go for Lumina Crash plus Weather Ball into Charizard. I got quite a few options here. I think my best option that I do like is probably just Lumina Crash the... Is it Lumina Crash to Charizard? Because I think Whimsicott probably protects here. And I think a swap happens. So I think I go out on Archaludon, Lumina Crash. Oh, wait, that Whimsicott might not have Protect because on Star After Teams, they might not carry Protect. Wait, this is bad. I should target the Whimsicott. Unless the Whimsicott wants to switch out to King Gambit, but I think Charizard might want to switch out to King Gambit. This was a bad target, though. I should outspeed Whimsicott because +3 compared to their +2 in Tailwind. Yeah, I should target the Whimsicott. This is not terrible, but it's obviously not ideal. Okay, they go for a Moonblast into the Spafra, so Spafra goes down. Yeah, this could have been just a knockout Whimsicott, and I'm in a great spot. Heat Wave is fine. It's not doing any damage. Actually did a bit more than I thought. But at least we get the stamina boost, which is important. Tailwind peters out. I wonder if I can knock out Whimsicott before Tailwind goes up. I think I'm going to try to go for that. So I'm going to bring out Greninja, which shouldn't be threatened here. I'm going to go for my Water Shuriken and Rain into the Whimsicott, and I'm going to try to boost up my Archaludon with Electroshot. I think this is pretty... It's not the greatest. I obviously had a better line earlier where I could have just KO'd the Whimsicott. Even at the trade of a Spafra, I think it's a pretty good spot because then I just get Greninja or Archaludon versus a Charizard and Rain and whatever partner I could be well prepared for. But yeah, now it's awkward. They're going to switch on to Garchomp. That makes sense, but I'm okay with Garchomp because I do have access to Pelipper with Wide Guard, and I do have access to the Rain still for this turn. So let's see if Whimsicott protects or not. Okay, no Protect is nice, so I do get a Water Shuriken. This is -2 Whimsicott, and I do have the Rain. I should KO with 2 shots. Nice, so no Tailwind for the rest of the game is huge. So Greninja is going to outspeed my opponent, which is important. Okay. So we do go for an Electroshot into the Garchomp. I can't afford Archaludon taking too much damage, which is concerning. Thankfully, we already have 1 stamina boost, and we're slowly recovering with the leftovers. But I gotta watch out for Basculegion endgame. And I gotta watch out... I don't think I have to watch out about King Gambit. I think it's only Bass that's scary. Ideally, Bass would come in here so I could Water Shuriken my Archaludon, get the defense boost, and then Dragon Pulse. But it is going to be Garchomp, or Charizard is not surprising here. I mean, my best play is to always go Pelipper. The question is, does Charizard double out here? I think my best play is just to protect Arch because, one, we don't know the Garch... Oh, the thing is that the Garchomp has both Earthquake and Stomping Tantrum. This is bad. But I'm worried about how much Earthquake and a Weather Ball does into Arch because I don't want to take too much damage. I know Pelipper should not be in range of Rock Slide plus Weather Ball if they double up the Pelipper slot. So I'm pretty sure that I just want to keep Arch as healthy as possible. I could get Tailwind up with my Pelipper, which is huge. If I can get Tailwind up with Pelipper, that's massive. So let's see if we can go for that. But I'm curious if Charizard doubles out here to preserve weather control or they just launch a Weather Ball. Because that's the thing. If I predict a double out and I attack as they don't double out and instead just double up my Arch, the game is over. So I'm not risking that, I'm pretty sure. Oh, they protected, which is nice too. Okay, this works out pretty well. Assuming this is not Stomping Tantrum. Okay, it's Earthquake. Please don't be Earthquake and Stomping Tantrum. Like, as long as the Garchomp's not both, I'm fine. I can also Electroshot the Charizard now. I definitely take Weather Ball into Earthquake after like all this leftovers recovery. I can get a Tailwind up, which is massive, so I will go for Tailwind, and I am going to go for an Electroshot into the Charizard. Because they have no Electroshot switching that isn't the Garchomp, which is already out on the field, so I feel pretty good about this spot now. I haven't been feeling that great about how this game has went, but overall, like, now I'm actually in a commanding spot. We do see the swap, Basket Legion, perfect, so Electroshot into Bask is a huge knockout for me. They actually Earthquake their own Bask too, although I don't think it's Sash Basket Legion on this team, so probably very minor at the end of the day. We do get the Electroshot off into the Basket Legion. And because of that, we also have Tailwind with Pelipper, so with this Tailwind, I'm feeling pretty good about our spot as well. Do I want a Dragon Pulse? I'm trying to figure out what gives me a guaranteed odds win here, because I feel I'm in a really commanding spot, but I'm thinking of like, okay, if they get like multiple protects, if they get some calls right with Arch, like target wise, is this bad for me? We'll see. Because right now the Charizard can't threaten the damage into Arch. The Dragon Pulse is threatening the KO into Garchomp as long as it's not some Habanberry set. We can switch out Pelipper into Greninja, which I think is always a play. I'm just kind of curious if that's too obvious, and if I lose Greninja, is that too punishing here? I don't think so, because the Pelipper comes in at full health, and we have Wide Guard. So if the Garchomp, I think if the Garchomp had Stomping, it would have went for it. So I think I have probably an okay line with going for Wide Guard plus Electroshot the following turn. I could also Weather Ball Dragon Pulse because I think the Charizard's in range of Weather Ball. So Greninja will go down to summon the Weather, which I think will give us a better pathway for a win here. They do Solar Beam, yeah. I do think it was super obvious. I could have went for Dragon Pulse, but I think this is still fine. So goodbye Greninja, but Greninja, you already did the work actually, like earlier in the game. Getting rid of the Whimsicott with the Water Shuriken was actually kind of important. So now we can go out into Pelipper, get the Rain up, and I think we click Wide Guard Electroshot. Or not Wide Guard Electroshot, we Weather Ball plus, because the Charizard's in range of Weather Ball at this range, and I outspeed it. So I just go for Weather Pulse, Dragon Pulse immediately, and then if they get like 2 double protects, then I think I Wide Guard Electroshot. Yeah, I think that's always the play. And also if they like, here's the thing, if they're spamming protects to stall out the Tailwind, then I do get leftovers recovery with Archidon. They also didn't protect Garchomp, it looks like. Oh, it's Choice Scarf Garchomp. If it's Choice Scarf Garchomp, I win guaranteed, even if they crit. Because the reason I win is because if they're locked into Earthquake, then they can't hit my Pelipper. So all I have to do is Weather Ball the Charizard. And the Charizard can't knock me on one shot. Maybe if it's... Well, it can't be Ancient Power. I think we saw all the moves. We saw Heat Wave, we saw Weather Ball, we saw Solar Beam. Yeah, like the Charizard cannot win. And we saw Protect, so can't have Ancient Power. So we guarantee win. Okay. Okay, perfect. Perfect. The Whimsicott is a little bit annoying with the Charizard lead, but if I play it well, but yeah, that was definitely a mistake of not KOing the Whims earlier. If I KO'd the Whims earlier, I was in a great spot. Granted, I guess I didn't have to pressure Weather Ball KOing the Charizard these last couple turns, but yeah, I think KOing the Whimsicott was better because they are less likely to run Protect on Staraptor. All right, we have Garchomp, King Gambit, Talonflame, Gardevoir, Mousehold, and Basculegion. So classic Tailwind offense team. The Gardevoir moveset's always interesting on these teams because they can vary so much here. Scizor's pretty good against this team. If it isn't Talonflame lead. I feel best lead here is probably... Do I want to bring a Spaffra? Probably not. Yeah, I don't think I bring a Spaffra. And I don't think I bring a Nihilape. It's not a terrible option, but it's not like an amazing option either. I think my best lead here is just Scizor Greninja. The priority is really good against like the Tailwind stuff immediately. And then I do like the Archalon and Pelipper back because I like having Rain because of the Water Shuriken with Greninja. And Archalon's really good against everything that isn't Gardevoir basically. If I get the defense boost. Spafford doesn't really help out here too much. Like, the reason I would think I would bring it is because I can skill swap the Gardevoir, get rid of Pixelate, which is actually really nice for my Archalon, because that means Archalon basically walls Gardevoir, but they could run Vacuum Wave, I guess, as coverage option. And then Annihilate, it's a bit kind of awkward in this. Like, it does outspeed quite a bit of Pokemon, but if I don't KO Talonflame, like, I guess I could have went like an Annihilate mode. If I KO'd a Talonflame, Water Shuriken, boosted in Rain, I could go for a combination with Annihilate, but against Mousehold redirection, it's a little bit annoying, I think. So, let's see. I think Scizor covers a Gardevoir Mousehold combination, while if they go for anything else, I think this is okay. So they lead the Gardevoir plus the Talonflame, and I think this is fine overall, because I can go for a Bullet Punch into Gardevoir, threaten it, and I can go for Hydro Pump into Talonflame. And this pretty much covers a lot of angles. The reason is, if they have Quick Guard on Talonflame, that means the Talonflame doesn't get attacked. My Greninja gets a Hydro Pump into Talonflame. Goodbye Talonflame, unless this is Sash. Don't be Sash for some reason. And if they don't get Tailwind up, they don't outspeed my Greninja. If they Tailwind with Talonflame, Life or Bullet Punch should OHKO to Gardevoir, which means I attack with the Bullet Punch before the Gardevoir gets an attack off into Greninja. Because currently Greninja outspeeds the Gardevoir and the Talonflame after Mega Evolution. So Gardevoir retreats, which is fine. King Gambit, that's acceptable, okay. Greninja, you might just have to hit a Hydro Pump. That's all we need. That's all we need. Let's see. I'm kind of curious what their back Pokemon is. I'm thinking it's Basculegion, but we'll find out. Okay, Protect on Talonflame is fine here. Yeah, that's fine. We go for a Bullet Punch into the King Gambit. Also, I don't know what is up with that frame rate for a second. Okay. So I do transform into pure water type, which is kind of bad against Gambit, but it's still acceptable. I guess the question is, do I want to try to deny Tailwind or not? Because I could go Pelipper Water Shuriken, which is not a terrible play, but I could also Hydro Pump the Talonflame again. Because I don't really care about Tailwind if I have Scizor around, right? And I kind of want to pressure the Gambit while it's on the field. I think I'm going to go for Close Combat Hydro Pump. Yeah, I'm going to go for it. Oh, actually, this was a bad play. I think I should have went Pelipper. The reason is I could see Sucker Punch into Brave Bird, into Scizor. Do I think that you're going to go for that? I feel like that's risky. Oh, we see a swap here. Gardevoir? Basculegion. Okay, they're scouting for the fighting move. Good play on their part. If I went for if I got the Rain up with Water Shuriken, if I KO'd a Talonflame, I was in a really good spot. But I still don't think this is a terrible spot because right now, I think I could set up my Archalon pretty comfortably here. Yeah, I think I could set up my Archalon very comfortably. So I go for the Close Combat. It is going to fail into Bask. I think this turn I just double protect here. The King Gambits on these teams don't usually run Swords Dance, even though they have Redirection Mousehold. They usually run multiple attacks. I don't think you could ever bring out Gardevoir. You went Gardevoir, okay. Curious. Tracing Protean doesn't really matter here. Oh, actually it kind of does, unironically, because you could technically protect and then get rid of your fairy typing. But I think the play here is just to always protect with both. And scout, stall out, turn a Tailwind, and scout for like what the Gardevoir wants to click. I also could scout for Gardevoir Protect. I'm thinking they probably are just trying to bait a move into the Gardevoir with the Scizor and then try to remove it so that Gardevoir has a better time against my team. Because other than Scizor, I have a really tough time against Gardevoir in general with my team. If they play super aggressive the next turn, it's not great. They do know that I'm Life Orb Scizor, so the Gardevoirs just don't usually run enough bulk. We do see the Mega on the Gardevoir. So they're probably attacking this turn, and then the question is, are they protecting the following turn? I would like to also... Oh, they do protect. Okay. So I can threaten the Bullet Punch next turn. I think if I'm them, I'm probably switching out into King Gambit for the Bullet Punch then. But it's a call. Whether the Gardevoir stays in is pretty important. They Last Respect, which I don't love to see. I would have preferred seeing Wave Crash, but I still think this is fine. We're going out in our Archaludon, and we're clicking Water Shuriken into our own Archaludon. Ideally, Gardevoir switches out. Ideally, Gardevoir switches out. Okay, perfect in the game because they didn't want to take the Bullet Punch. It's kind of a call there, but I do get this call right, which is massive. I'm curious where the Sash is on this team. It's either on the Maushold, the King Gambit, or it could be the Basque. But we get the Water Shuriken off into Arch, which is pretty massive because we're getting these defense boosts, which is huge to take on the Last Respect. Because the Last Respect is not that powered up, but now my Arch is kind of a sitting wall. Would have liked a little bit more, but that's acceptable. This is Last Respect. Yep. Oh, baby, look at that. Look at that little damage. It's Life Orb Basket Legion 2. Oh my goodness. That is ridiculous. Okay, my best play here is to probably Electroshot the Basket Legion, swap into Pelipper. Yeah, because we want to get rid of Basque. If we get rid of Basque, we're in really good shape. We don't really need Pelipper alive. If we keep Pelipper alive, it's still decent because I do get access to Wide Guard for the Gardevoir when it inevitably comes in. But I'm liking this spot right here because right now my Archaludon is pretty much just tanking these attacks very easily. And we can get this Electroshot into the Basque. And if they go out into Gardevoir, like at this point, they might be losing the Greninja in the end game as well. So I don't mind this. So we will swap out our Greninja, go out on Pelipper. Bullet Punch is just looking really good against my opponent's team in general. They go for Kowtow into the Pelipper. I eat that up, have the Citrus. Yum. Now my question is, do I target the Gardevoir or do I target the Gambit the next turn? Because I'm trying to figure whether it's better for me to go for Greninja win or if it's better for me to go for a different, or if it's just better for me to weaken everything for Water Shuriken. I guess it's probably better to go for Gardevoir because right now, even if Gardevoir protects, the King Gambit can't knock out the Pelipper with another Kowtow. So I think I just go for Electroshot again and I go for Wide Guard into the Gardevoir. Unless the Gardevoir has Focus Blast, we're fine. And even if it has Focus Blast, I could still play out of it, but it becomes a lot harder if it does. Please don't have Focus Blast. Vacuum Wave is okay. Because Vacuum Wave will hurt, but it's not a KO. Yeah, they go for Protect because they're scouting for the Wide Guard. That makes sense. Okay, but we pretty much just always spam Wide Guard. Maybe I don't have to because I'm not in range of anything, but does Weather Ball get me anything here? I could Tailwind, but Tailwind doesn't really get me anything. Yeah, I think I just spam Wide Guard. Go for Kowtow again. It'd actually be better if they crit because then I get Scizor in too. If they crit my Pelipper, I get Scizor in. I click Bullet Punch into the Gardevoir. I click Electroshot. It's just over. But yeah, I just spam Wide Guard and Electroshot. Does the Gardevoir have Focus Blast? I don't think they usually run Focus Blast. I feel like any fighting move I've seen Gardevoir run on these teams is Vacuum Wave. And usually, yeah. I mean, it could run some other tech moves, but we should be okay. Let's see. Okay, they go for Hyper Voice. All right. So that should be guaranteed game then at this point. I don't see how they're breaking through Arch. I guess like they will get rid of Pelipper and stall at the rain turns. I do have pretty much an okay answer to Basket Legion anyway. So yeah, I think I'm fine. As Electroshot will KO the Gardevoir. Do I go Greninja or do I go out into... Okay, they go for low kick. They're trying to crit the Arch. What's my better line? It's probably just a Hurricane, the FKJEJHEBJK Electric Shock King Game, but yeah, they have to crit, and even if they get a crit, Greninja's still looking pretty good next to Scizor, I think, in endgame, so very nice domination by Archaladon plus Greninja. Okay, we have the Perish Rain team with Mega Gengar, Archaladon, Politoed, Swampert, Vivian, and Incineroar. So my only annoyance is Sleep Powder is not fun to deal with, but overall, I don't think this matchup's terrible. Yeah, I feel like this matchup's fine. I believe my plan here is to just go with a Spafra plus Greninja. It's pretty strong into my opponent's team in general. And then in the back, I'm bringing the Archaladon for sure, and then I think Pelipper as well. So the things that I do have to watch out for here are specifically Perish Song endgame with Politoed, their own Archaladon, which is actually not easy for me to handle. And maybe, did I bring Pelipper then? Maybe I could forego bringing Pelipper. Yeah, I don't need Pelipper, I suppose. Maybe my best Mon here is the Annihilate. Because I like having the close combat pressure for the Archaladon. It's just such an annoying Pokemon for the rest of my team to remove. I think this is okay. Annihilate's also a Ghost type, which helps out in the Gengar matchup, but I don't think it's going to be that impactful. I'm thinking that just a Spafra with Focus Sash alongside the Greninja, which outspeeds and threatens the Gengar, is already pretty huge to threaten the Perish mode. And if they bring the Swampert mode, I think it's okay too. They go Vivian plus Gengar, which I think is alright. So I lead Greninja plus the Spafra. I guarantee outspeed Vivian. Yes, I do guarantee outspeed Vivian. So I can go for a Lumina Crash plus a Dark Pulse into the Vivian turn 1, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm not letting Sleep Powder go off. They could Rage Powder, which is fine. The reason I'm not Mega Evolving is because I don't think I need the Mega Evolution just yet, and I don't want to change my typing because I think keeping the Water Dark type is still useful, and I'm pretty sure the Gengar's just clicking Perish Song. Like, if you click Sludge Bomb, that's okay, but I don't think it's likely. Alright. Wow, they risked a Gengar, which is crazy to me. Okay. I do get the Dark Pulse off in the Vivian. Also, that's a really slow Gengar. It underspeeds my Spafra. Okay. We do get one huge knockout, which is nice. Perish Song. Alright, who's your back? Is it Politoed Ensign? I'm assuming Ensign has to come out here. Yeah. You need the fake out pressure. I think the best play here is to get a Rain Dance up. Yes, to get a Rain Dance up. I think it's Rain Dance, Hydro Pump, the Ensign. I think Gengar is very likely protecting here. Yep. They could fake out. They could go for double protect. I think both are fine. They could also fake out my Greninja. Yeah, that's okay. Because I do get access to the Rain Dance, which means now I threaten the KO into the Incineroar potentially with Hydro Pump, although it's probably Posha Berry, I'd assume. I'm thinking the likely play that they're going to make the next turn is Gengar Retreat Parting Shot. Unfortunately, Hydro Pump in Rain doesn't KO the Incineroar most likely. So I'm going to go for a Lumina Crash into the Gengar, and I'm going to go for a Hydro Pump into the... Or not Hydro Pump, I'm going for the Dark Pulse. I only went for the Rain Dance to cover for the Ensign, because like there's nothing else I was really setting up anyway. Yeah, Gengar Retreats. Politoed, I assume, is the last. Oh, it's Archaladon. Wait, this is still pretty decent for me. But the thing is, do I KO? If I don't KO, this is actually kind of bad. Yeah, if I don't KO, this might be really bad. Because I was hoping it was Politoed, but it kind of makes sense that it's Arch. Lumina Crash. Maybe I should have Hydro Pumped, because Hydro Pump and Rain would have definitely nuked. But if it was Politoed, I was thinking that was definitely not KOing. We go for the Dark Pulse here. Alright. Oh, it doesn't KO the Arch. If we KO the Arch, I think we guarantee win. Now, I think it's... I mean, it's possible, but I think it's super unlikely to win. Gengar. Actually, I could win. It's really tough, though. And I mean really, really tough. Yeah, because now... they're just going to double protect. My play is just to always go for a Lumina Crash into the Gengar, and I guess we're gonna go for a Hydro Pump into the Archaudon in case they switch to Instant. Yeah, had a feeling. Okay. I don't think I hate this though. Yeah, because they protect the Gengar. How much does Hydro Pump do into the Instant, which is important here? Pasho, okay. I wonder if Water Shuriken was better. But let's see how much this does. It was -1, but that's a little bit more disappointing damage than I expected. Oh, it's because I'm not a water type anymore. I keep forgetting I was not a water type. I think, oh, then the play was to skill swap my Greninja. I should have skill swapped to Greninja to get pro... actually, no, it doesn't change anything because I just get speed boost. It doesn't reset the typing. Never mind. So I can win here, but it's looking pretty tough. I think they're just going to fake out the... I think they're just going to fake out my Archaudon. And go for... Shadow Ball? Probably. I'm curious if they actually do go for Perish. But we'll see. Because I do get the close combat, I need to KO Instant. Because if they do Perish Song, I do think I have a pretty actually decent chance to win. Because then the Gengar is locked into Perish, and all I have to do is KO the Archaudon because my Archaudon underspeeds the Gengar. Yeah, this is perfect actually. Wait, this is perfect. I was worried if they Shadow Balled the Annihilate, but they didn't know like what my item was, so it made sense. Now I'm in a great spot because as long as Archaudon doesn't get a triple protect, I think I'm fine. Just don't get a triple protect and we're fine. Because the Archaudon is super low at this point. So I can go for a close combat, threaten the Archaudon, and Electro Shot to the Gengar. Ooh, okay, that actually worked out really well. Yeah, they're going to protect Archaudon. Like, it wasn't like Annihilate was doing anything here. As long as Archaudon, again, doesn't get a triple, we're fine. Shadow Ball. Ideally, it doesn't even get a double, because if it gets a double, that's actually pretty annoying. Gengar goes down, we get an Electro Shot off into the Gengar. So this is pretty good damage. Yep. And now we Dragon Pulse the Archaudon. Or do we Flash Cannon? No, I Dragon Pulse. Because they don't usually run Disable on this team. Let's see. Shadow Ball is not going to do enough to Arch. No, I don't think it two-shots my Archaudon. They didn't go for a double, which is crazy to me. Do they have Draco? Oh, they might have Draco on this team, actually. Do they outspeed? No. Because they don't really have any reason to run speed on the Arch. They're usually like bold Archaudon on this team, so I didn't think so. So that works out pretty well. I'm not in Shadow Ball range, it looks like, especially after the leftovers, but I have a guaranteed win by protecting because their Gengar is going to faint before my Archaudon, so their Perish just ended up really backfiring here. So that worked out. They obviously didn't know the Annihilate item, so this game could have been different if it was Shadow Ball. I'm trying to think if there's any line that could have been different. Maybe I guess I could have led Annihilate plus Greninja, because if I had Annihilate plus Greninja, I could still threaten U-turn plus Wave or plus Hydro Pump into Vivian and still had the Ghost typing to disincentivize Perish. But the trapping was a little bit annoying. And also, I just completely forgot about my Greninja being locked into dark typing. If I Hydro Pump the Archal on the Switch, I think it was better. But if I missed, I would have lost, of course, I guaranteed. But I think Hydro Pump might have been better because Politoed was less likely, I think. All right, we have Delphox, Blastoise, Incineroar, Maushold, Sneasler, and Sinistcha. I'm very worried about this matchup because Blastoise was definitely one of the hardest ones that I was theorizing with this team. Okay, I do like my... I think Annihilape is pretty good just into this kind of offense because if they mess up the lead, Annihilape just puts on so much pressure. So I think it's Annihilape plus a Spafra. They're not bringing the Delphox. I'm just going to say they're never bringing Delphox into the matchup. They're always bringing Blastoise. I'm kind of curious on who the partners are. I could see it being Maushold, Sneasler, Sinistcha, Blastoise. I can see Incineroar as well being brought, but I think it's less likely. Should be okay here. The question is, do I want to bring Scizor or not? The Bullet Punch is nice, but it's not really helpful otherwise. Arch Greninja can do something, but if I don't bring Pelipper, Arch is a lot less useful, but I think it's still probably the best call. Because my plan is to weaken the Blastoise immediately, and then have Greninja be able to set up something towards in the back. So we'll see what they decide to go with lead-wise here. But I think it's Blastoise, always. Yeah, it's Blastoise Sneasler, that's fine. So we lead Annihilape plus the Spafra. We have access to close combat into the Blastoise, which I will always go for. And I'm going to go for Protect with my Spafra. Oh, this Sneasler is going to be really annoying the next turns. Okay, we do see the Blastoise Mega Evolve. I'm hoping close combat does some pretty good damage. This is max attack Adamant Annihilape. I'm hoping this does at least like 50. They fake out the Spafra because they don't want the double up into Blastoise happening. We do get access to a close combat into the Blastoise. Really good damage, actually. Okay, perfect. Shell Smash up. Okay, I think my best play here is to get Greninja in. My question is, do I go for Lumina Crash into Blastoise or am I going for Lumina Crash into the Sneasler? I think it's Lumina Crash just into Blastoise. Because they're either going to switch into Sinistcha immediately and protect. They could go Sinistcha attack or they could protect Poison Jab. They do switch out to Sneasler, that makes sense, into Sinistcha, yep. Okay. The Blastoise usually runs Dark Pulse Water Spout, so I should be fine on taking the attacks here, yeah. So I could have went for Lumina Crash Dark Pulse, but I still think that is pretty reasonable. So I go for the Lumina Crash into the Blastoise. I don't think Water Spout should knock out Greninja. I'd be shocked if so. We're going to go for a Dark Pulse into the Blastoise, and we're going to go for Lumina Crash also into Blastoise here. Okay, let's see, because this is going to be really important upcoming turns here. I assume this is just Rage Powder, Water Spout. Yeah, here's Rage Powder. My Spafra will outspeed the Blastoise because we're +2 speed, and we're faster than Blastoise naturally. So we should KO the Sinistcha here, because the Dark Pulse should guarantee... the Lumina Crash drop should be guaranteed. Water Spout, this should not be enough. Okay, barely. It's actually crazy how much like a bit of investment in a Greninja matters for surviving these attacks. Oh, that was a crit. I was about to say, why did that do so much damage to Greninja? I like the Blastoise is +2, but it's like very weakened. Okay, we got Dark Pulse off. So Sinistcha goes down. This is a good start. This is kind of how I expected the battle to go. The crit's actually kind of annoying because if the Sneasler has Feint on this team, we're screwed. Also, actually, if they have Maushold and they have Feint, I lose. This might be Maushold. Oh, I don't think I can win. The double redirect is just a bit too much here. they gonna go faint or do they have follow me? I think they faint, right? I think I gotta go for Water Shuriken plus Lumina Crash. Okay, it really depends on what move I think the Mouseholt's going for. If they go for follow me... No, I think they're clicking faint, right? I would click faint Water Spout if I'm them. If that's the case, I think I have to Water Shuriken the Blastoise and Heart Swap to Arch. And I gotta hope for a good Water Shuriken rolls, but I don't think Water Shuriken's doing that much damage to Blastoise even at -1. Yeah, they do have feints. I had a suspicion. Okay. So my Arch is taking a bit of damage, but I mean, we'll still be... I think we're fine with damage-wise, at least. Water Shuriken. Oh my goodness, that's doing nothing. Because it's not the same type of attack bonus, I know, but like... I want to reduce any Water Spout damage I was taking with Arch, but it might have been better to target the Mousehold. Which is due to Arch. Okay, Arch is taking it, I guess. I guess the question is, does Annihilate take the Water Spout? Because if Annihilate takes the Water Spout, we're in a good spot. If this is Dark Pulse into Arch, it's concerning. But yeah, we're going to go Annihilate. I think I have to close combat. Well, here's the thing. The mouse is probably Chople. I mean, the mouse is Chople and it's living the Annihilate attack. But I think I'll just go for Dragon Pulse then. I think they're just going to click Follow Me Spout, but let's see. Oh, they click Dark Pulse. If I click Protect, I won. Or not won, but I was in the potential spot. If Close Combat knocks out Mouse, but I would assume it's Chople. Yeah, it's Chople. Double Redirect is tough. If it's like this, if it's like any other version that isn't the mouse, it's beatable, but the mouse makes it super rough, especially the feint, because I got rid of my grass type that I initially had on this team for Annihilate, which obviously suffered against this kind of version, but yeah. Was there anything I could have done? Can't really think so. I think Blastoise Double Redirect is just like something that the team is just going to struggle against guaranteed. Oh, that's unfortunate. But yeah, I think I made any potential place I could go for. I guess maybe I could have Lumina Crashed earlier. I guess if I Lumina Crashed I guess I had to call the Sinistra. If I called the Sinistra switching, then I had the potential to get 2 Lumina Crashes off into the Sinistra, which looks like a KO'd, I think, at that range, because on the Protect on Blastoise and their switch to Sinistra, I could have Lumina Crash the Sinistra switch in, got it to -2, then I threatened with another Lumina Crash, and then the Greninja gets a Dark Pulse off into the Blastoise. I think that was how I was winning. I think I had to make that turn. So it was potential. I just had to call which one, because sometimes they'll play aggressive with the Blastoise and just Water Spout. But if they protect it like that, then I probably should have, like, again, called the Sinistra switch and protect. But it's just like, again, does the Blastoise protect or do they just spout? All right, we're going to see Annihilate, Grimmsnarl, Incineroar, the Whimsicott, Staraptor, and the Milotic. This is... okay, very, very scary. Very, very scary. I do have a line though, but yeah, this is going to be super tough. I'm going to go with Greninja lead, I think. Well, trying to think of what my best lead is here. Grimmsnarl, Protect the Staraptor team is very rough, I think. It's manageable, but it's very rough. I think I probably have to bring any offense that I have into Staraptor, which is our Child and Pelipper. If I can get rid of the Whimsicott immediately, it's nice. I think lead-wise, this might be crazy. Oh, I'm blanking out on what to do here because I think I have like a few different ideas here, but they're all very tricky. Because I was debating about like, oh, I could do a Annihilate plus Sizzle or threaten a Whimsicott knockout immediately. That could have been really good. I also was thinking about like this rain mode that I am going for, which I think is like generally consistent. But the problem is I think I might have to make a call if they lead Whimsicott Staraptor. If they lead Whimsicott Staraptor, I think we're literally just playing a 50-50. Okay, Annihilate Whimsicott. Is this just beat up immediately? Okay, a spat for Greninja. I'm going for Lumina Crash. That's 100% something I know I'm going for. The question is, am I going for Pelipper switch here on the Greninja? It might be the best play. I might as well get the rain up, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm going to go Pelipper. Because they have to respect Pelipper too. Pelipper's a threat. Okay, hopefully this is like Tailwind close combat, but I'm not 100% certain. It could be Drain Punch, it could be Bulk Up, which is fine. Okay, they go for Beat Up immediately. That's... I mean, it's not great, but like... I can play around it, I suppose. They go for Rage Fist. Oh, did they call? My Pelipper? Also, wait, that Annihilate is Jolly or Scarf? It might be Slow Scarf Ape. I have seen Slow Scarf Ape before. Oh, this is weird. This is weird. I think it's okay, though. I think I get Greninja in. I can Lumina Crush the Whimsicott, and I do threaten the Hydro Pump. I could also Protect here, but the Protect on Greninja could be obvious, I suppose. I feel like I should take the offense here. It might be Scarf. I think it could be Scarf on the Annihilate. I'm going to go for Hydro Pump. Like, I've seen the slow Scarf Annihilates on these teams with Rage Fist so that the beat up happens before the Rage Fist. And I'm thinking it's that or they're Jolly Annihilate, but I can't tell. Okay, they go for Tailwind. I'm assuming this is Rage Fist in the Spafra. Yeah. Or they targeted the Greninja again, which I should live. Barely. But I do live. So I do get the Lumina Crash off into the Whimsicott. Whimsicott goes down, which is huge. Okay. Oh, I thought I missed. Oh, I thought I missed. That would have been a really bad miss. Okay, good damage to Ape. I guess I get to confirm if it's Scarf this next turn, potentially, because they would probably bring out their Staraptor. Yes. So we just double protect here, for sure. This Staraptor is definitely going to be a bit of a pain, but I'm curious what the last mon is, because the last mon's actually really important for me to know. I can Water Shuriken the Annihilate. The question is, can I KO the Staraptor in time? Okay, let's find out if this is Scarf Ape. It is Scarf Annihilate, okay. Or it's very likely. I don't think it's Bulky Staraptor, because Staraptor usually needs a lot of speed. They go for close combat into Greninja, that makes sense. I have a few different plays I can go for. Water Shuriken Lumina Crash seems pretty solid here. The thing is, we're +3 speed on the Spafra, so we don't outspeed the Annihilate. So I have to Water Shuriken the Annihilate, which is not good. I'm debating about skill swapping the Staraptor to get rid of Contrary. You know what? I'm going for it. Because then they get the defense drop, and then I can threaten the Staraptor with Lumina Crash next turn. That's my goal here. So I get rid of Annihilate. Annihilate goes down. Because Lumina Crash would do a lot of damage to Staraptor, but I'm worried if I even KO the Staraptor afterward with like all of the boosts, because they would get +3 from Lumina Crash, -2, and then the close combat coming up. So I gave the Staraptor speed boost. We do see the close combat coming out into the Greninja. My only issue is I do underspeed the Staraptor now with a Spafra because they got the speed boost, but I think it's okay. It depends heavily on the last Pokemon. Alright, our Chaladon in Milotic. Yep, okay. I think we're okay. I think we're okay. Last turn of Tailwind 2 is perfect because if Staraptor protects, I outspeed with Vespaff. Yeah, I outspeed with Vespaff for the next turn. So I go for Lumina Crash and Protect. I think it's always the safest play here. Because if they're -1 special defense, they're going down to Lumina Crash. If they protect, my Espafra outspeeds the Staraptor the next turn. There are 2 ways I could lose this though. That the Milo. I guess 3. Okay. Oh, they recovered. Interesting. Okay. That's fine. I go for a Lumina Crash, and I'm gonna go for... Do I Electric Shot immediately, or do I just Dragon Pulse? I was worried about Blind Hypnosis in Espafra. Blind Hypnosis in Espafra could have definitely actually changed the game, but now I should be fine. Espafra outspeeds the Staraptor, and then I can go for a Dragon Pulse, I think. Yeah. So they don't protect. Lumina Crash KOs the Staraptor. They're -1 defense or special defense from earlier, so that skill swap was massive into the Staraptor, which allowed Lumina Crash to KO. I was +3 speed versus their +2 speed from speed boost, so I knew I was outspeeding. So yeah, this is perfect, and then I should guarantee to win here. They have Hypnosis. They thankfully didn't go for it in this spot for the last turn. Because if they went for Hypnosis and landed, it was that was going to be game losing. But battle going to be forfeited. Ooh, okay. Okay. That was scary, but manageable. Okay, we see Basket Legion, Frostlass, King Gambit, the Lycanroc Dusk form, Scovillain, and Sneasler. So it's one of these standard teams for the most part. Matchup wise, this is like, it's fine, but it's not like amazing, I'd say. But actually, it can be pretty good though. Because our Chaladon's really strong into their team if I'm able to set it up properly. It's just, can I set it up properly? I think Scovillain makes it a lot harder than Frostlass. Frostlass is a lot easier to deal with. I'm kind of curious on which one they're going to bring here. But I am going to go with Espafra plus Greninja, I think. And then in the back, I'm bringing our Chaladon. And I think I need the extra weather change, if I'm not mistaken. A Scizor would be really nice against their team, but I think I bring Pelipper. Because there is a world where I just don't get the rain up with Espafra, and I need to spam Electroshot because the entire game plan is going to be Arch against this team. Arch is just really good into this team if I get rid of Scovillain and get the Water Shuriken defense boost. So that's what I'm going to aim for. Let's see. Scovillain, Sneasler. Okay. They don't usually carry Feint on the Sneasler on these teams, so I should be fine here. I should just be able to get a double protect off very safely. And then next turn, that's where it gets a big question mark, but... I do remember that the Scovillain does get access to Gear Drain. I am giving them a chance to get a Moody boost, but I mean, versus Fake Out, I think this is still better. Oh, they didn't go for the Moody boost. Interesting. Please don't have Feint on the Sneasler. Don't change the team to have Feint. If they have Feint, this gets pretty annoying. All right, double protect. Please don't have Feint. They Rage Powder. Okay, they Rage Powder close combat. That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. I wonder if Rain Dance, Hydro Pump would... Wait, did they close combat my Espafra? Okay, that's not what I expected, but you know what? Greninja lives a close combat. Well, actually, we don't live a close combat if they get the burn, which means I might not get the boost on our Chaladon, which is scary. But I think my best play here is to go for Hydro Pump plus a... It is to go for Hydro Pump here and Lumina Crash. I want to double up the Sneasler. I don't know if they're going to Rage Powder again. We'll find out. I think they kind of have to. Because I could double up the Scovillain with Lumina Crash plus Hydro. There's a few mind games involved, but yeah, they just spam Rage Powder. So that's kind of what I thought here. Please hit Hydro Pump. Ideally, hitting Hydro Pump would be really nice. Lumina Crash. We will be burned with both Pokemon, but that's acceptable. I had to go for Hydro Pump to change to water typing. Okay, looks like we connect, I think, because the Scovillain faced our way. Perfect. We get the Hydro Pump off, so we get the KO on Scovillain. So even with both Pokemon burn, I mean, these are both special attackers. Losing the Sash on the Spafford kind of stinks, but I could have went for Rain Dance, but I think it's better to go for Lumina Hydro because I actually don't think Hydro and Rain could KO Scovillain. They Dire Claw immediately, so this is actually best case scenario. This is best case scenario. Okay. The Sneasler don't usually run Sash on this team because the Lycanroc usually needs Sash. So the Sneasler's threatened by the Lumina Crash, so they might protect or switch the following turn. King Gambit comes in. This is the best case. This is actually best case. Oh, they're threatening Sucker Punch. I think they're going to Sucker Punch the Espaffra and probably close combat the Greninja then, which is fine. I'm going to go for Water Shuriken into the Espaffra, and I'm going to go out in Archaludon. Because I need the stamina defense boost. This should be Sucker Punch. Oh, and if they protect Kowtow or protect Swords Dance or protect Sucker, those are all good for me. So let's see how many hits I can get with Water Shuriken. That's 1, 2. But only 2 kind of stinks, but okay. Okay, they Kowtow the Greninja instead, which is interesting. I'll take that. Is it better for me to Water Shuriken the Archaludon? Or not? To Water Shuriken the Archaludon is the question I need to see. I think I do want as many defense boosts as possible. I think I will just Water Shuriken the Archaludon again. And I'm going to just go for a Dragon Pulse probably then into the Sneasler. Oh, they swap. No way you went Basket Legion. That's a crazy play. Because if I go Pelipper Electro Shot, they're in a lot of trouble. But having a boosted Archaludon is just so good right here. Because now, as you see, I get rid of the special attacker. Archaludon is just boosted here. Dragon Pulse. Not a guaranteed 2-shot, which is unfortunate. They go for Kowtow. That's fine. Now I just get Pelipper in, and Pelipper gets to click the Rain. I could also bring in a Spaffra if I want to. But I think Pelipper makes sense because I can Tailwind. Yeah, I think I could probably just win with Arch at this point. I'm going for Tailwind with my Pelipper, and I'm going for Electroshot. Even if they Swords Dance with King Gambit, we're good. They go for Last Respect immediately into Pelipper, which is fine. That did so much damage because it's Life Orb change. Okay. But it was only 1 KO that we got, so we are guaranteed to survive here. We got the Tailwind up, and then we get Electroshot. We're looking pretty good. And then next turn, I want to double up the King Gambit, I'm pretty sure, with Weather Ball plus Electroshot. So goodbye Basket Legion. I don't have to worry about Last Respect crit, which is honestly the scariest crit form that they have on their team. Nice. Although Snakes are close combat crit could still be pretty annoying. Alright, Tailwind is set up with Pelipper, so now my Arch outspeeds their team. They go for Kowtow again. This is the perfect case, because I'm pretty sure that I can probably have a lock here. So we're going as Spaffra. They're going Sneasler. They're clicking Fake Out. Probably into Arch, I imagine. I think this is Fake Out Swords Dance. I feel like Fake Out Swords Dance is the very likely option that they go for. But I think it just protects the first turn and then Electroshot the King Gambit. Because if I do get the Electroshot off in the Gambit, I'm in a great shape. They do Fake Outs. Is this Swords Dance, or are they going for Kowtow? Or are they going for Sucker? They went for Sucker to cover for Spaffra attacking. Okay, so I could have gotten the tech I was going for, because I know what my end game is. The Sneaser's kind of in a weird spot. They're either going to Sucker or they're going to go for a... They're going to go Sucker or they're going to go for something else, which is fine. I'm going to go for a Skill Swap with my Arch. and go for Electric Shot into the Gambit because I need the damage in the Gambit because there's a world where Sneasler protects and they go for Kowtow. Yeah, exactly. So by doing this, now I have access to speed boost on my Archaludon. So now I have +5 defense, and we're gonna get some speed boost while we're under this Tailwind. So we should always win here, I'd say. Because +3 Electric Shot, I imagine KO Sneasler. And if they keep spamming Protect, I'm just getting the free boost. Yeah, good damage to King Gambit. Which I did need, because I need some damage on this King Gambit before the rain ends. So they go for the Kowtow and the Spafra. That made a lot of sense there. But now I'm in a pretty winning spot, because Electric Shot should get the KO on Sneasler. And I still have one more turn Tailwind, so I currently outspeed Sneasler. And then after +2 from Speed Boost, I'd KO the Sneasler. Just always try to Electric Shot. The Gambit crit won't even KO our Archaludon. Yeah, not much they can do. Okay, we have Gardevoir, Mousehold, Grimmsnarl, Basculegion, Talonflame, and Garchomp. This is the... I think I've seen this team before. Obviously, we did play, I think, something similar earlier with no Grimmsnarl. It's King Gambit, but this actually kind of makes the matchup quite interesting. I mean, Scizor is still looking pretty good here. Scizor is pretty strong against the team. What am I leading with? Scizor or Greninja? Probably Scizor or Greninja. The problem is, if the Grimmsnarl has fake tears, the Arch could be in way more danger. So something I'm going to have to keep in mind. But they only have one special attacker, so I don't know if they run fake tears on this team. I'm going to bring Greninja plus Scizor. It's just pretty strong into the lead in general. And then I think I'm bringing Pelipper and I'm bringing Arch. Yeah, because I don't think Skill Swap Spafra changes this matchup in a beneficial way. And Annihilate is always a question mark of like it could help. But one of the benefits of bringing Annihilate against the Gambit version is I have close combat. Against Grimmsnarl, it's like a lot less useful. Okay, Talonflame plus Gardevoir. Okay, I feel we have seen this before. Some deja vu. We are going to Bullet Punch Hydro Pump. And unfortunately, it's just going to come down to does Greninja land Hydro Pump. So we're going to go for Bullet Punch plus Hydro Pump into the Talonflame. Let's see, because I've covered all these options before. If they Quick Guard, I get the Hydro Pump off in the Talonflame. They lose the Quick Guard Mon. If they decide, hey, I'm going to Tailwind, I get the Bullet Punch off into Gardevoir first. They go for Protect, so this is fine. Please hit the Hydro. They didn't Tailwind. Okay. Okay. Don't be Sash. Perfect. So Talonflame goes down. It's a massive KO. So goodbye Talonflame. And then who's coming out here? Mousehold? Well, I don't think you have Mousehold back. It's probably Bask. Oh, they do actually have Mouse. Interesting. I mean, they have to Protect. I actually don't know if Life or Bullet Punch would KO the Mouse. I think I'm just going to Bug Bite the Gardevoir, and I'm going to go for Hydro Pump also into... Do I? Maybe I just Water Shuriken. Or I could Dark Pulse, I suppose. Each individual hit of Water Shuriken is like 22, so I would need, what, like a 4 hit? So Dark Pulse does more? Yeah, I think Dark Pulse is probably better. Because I can do Dark Pulse into Bug Bite, and then even if I don't KO Mousehold, it probably would be in Water Shuriken range, so I can then go for Water Shuriken. You might be thinking why I don't Bullet Punch. I want to put the Mouse into Water Shuriken range, guaranteed. They didn't Bullet Punch, or they didn't follow me. Is this Super Fang? Super Fang Hyper Voice is not KOing. Pop Bomb. Oh, so their plan was... Wait, is this Friend Guard? No, this is Technician, right? I'm pretty sure this has to be Technician. Their plan for the Bullet Punch was just let Gardevoir take the Bullet Punch, or just hope that I don't click Bullet Punch, which I didn't, so... Okay. I do KO the Gardevoir, though, with the combo, so... This is... gonna come down to the last. Oh, this Basculegion endgame is gonna be tricky. If it's Life Orb Basque, I'm not liking the looks of this. I think I go Pelipper first. Show me Basque. Yeah, it had to be Basque Legion. Okay, I'm hoping that if they're Life Orb, they might think Aqua Jet KOs the Scizor. So I'm gonna go for a line here, which is protect Scizor, go out into Arch, and hope that they go for Population Bomb into the Pelipper and Aqua Jet the Scizor. That's what I'm thinking. If they follow me Last Respect, this is bad though. But we'll find out. Because it's kind of a call, but let's see. There's like a few different options they have access to, and I think they're all reasonable. Oh, thank goodness. Okay, +6 Archalo is looking pretty good here. +6 Archalo is looking pretty good here. Yep. All right. I had a feeling. But they didn't Aqua Jet, so what? Did they Last Respect double up? Or did they Wave Crash? Like, I guess you don't have to Aqua Jet. I feel like Aqua Jet makes sense if you're Life Orb, but if they're not Life Orb, then any other attack makes sense, like Liquidation. This is probably Wide Lens, I imagine, on the mouse. Yeah, like each Population Bomb is doing late too. They did Last Respect the Scizor, so beautiful end game because I can go for Bullet Punch into the Basque Legion and Electro Shot. So they're going to forfeit because they know. I'm surprised they didn't go for the crit into Arch. You could crit Last Respect, but I guess if they are not Life Orb, crit onto Arch might not even KO still. So that was Mega Greninja, and I feel like this version of the team is definitely a lot better than my previous version. Originally, I was trying a Gourgeist with Choice Scarf, with Trick or Treat. I had Bullet Seed for the Archalon. It didn't exactly go too well because I was just never bringing the Gourgeist, and even in the matches I did, it felt like more of a liability. So yeah, Annihilate was definitely a bit more useful, even though we didn't really bring it too much. But I do think that Greninja was super sick, especially the Espafra Archalon plus Scizor. I felt that those four were incredible, especially in the games that we have played today, because you have so many different options that you can do to set up the Archalon, which I think is really neat about this team. If you'd like to check out the details of the team, there'll be a link to the description down below. You can try it out with the rental code while it's still available, so make sure to try it out while you can. Maybe I'll upload the Gourgeist video on the bonus channel, or maybe I'll make it a Patreon exclusive because I do have some games actually recorded with the Gourgeist version. But so if you want more Mega Greninja action, maybe I'll do something with that. But of course, make sure you subscribe to the channel for more VGC content as always.